Okay, so you just said that this was like way more trauma than you've ever experienced, in writing a book. First off, do you think that, did you realize that there was going to be, so much trauma before writing it? And then did you feel prepared to even like delve into this?
Yeah. I didn't know this level. I certainly didn't. I didn't know that much. I knew the Tupac story in the way someone who's a big Tupac fan knows the Tupac story. I knew all the points. I knew the different places he grew up. I knew the music. I knew the key figures. That was about it, right? So I went in a very blank slate. I will say I am married to a social worker, and that helps a lot. My mom was a substance abuse counselor. That helps a lot. Meaning, just throughout my life, I wouldn't say I was sheltered when it came to pain. Now, I lived I was a white kid growing up in rural America, New York. Like, I did not have that many troubles in my life. I knew I was going to college. I knew no one would be selling my mom crack. I knew there'd be meals on the table every day. Like, I never had to worry about getting shot. I had a pretty stable life. So learning about the trauma, like really learning about it, diving into it, definitely beat the crap out of me. I'm not saying it's not comparing to going through it, but definitely it weighs on you and it beats on you, and you're living it trying to understand it every day. So I guess I was prepared as you could be while being somewhat unprepared.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
It seems like before even he was born, like his life was in shambles. His life was like he was fighting because his mom was in jail fighting for her life. Mm-hmm. And when he came out, his life, before it got better, it got worse, a lot worse everywhere he goes, you know.
Right.
In talking to all these people, did you have a sense that he had enough in this earth? He was like, okay, I'm happy to be gone.
Wait, I didn't say the last part. Happy to be what?
To be gone from this earth. Like,
I think he was happy to be dead?
Yeah.
No, but I think he, no, I don't think he was happy to be dead, but I understand what you're saying. I think people, when they see someone famous, they oftentimes misunderstand what it is. And they see you're famous, and you must have money, and look at you. You're smoking blunts, and you're driving in a BMW, and you're drinking Hennessy or whatever, and you're eating caviar. Oh, what a great life. Oh my God, your music, what a great life. And the truth of the matter is, he just had so many demons to overcome. Fatherlessness, homelessness, poverty, watching his hero, his mom, go from Black Panther icon to crack addict, Yeah. All these things that fueled him and sort of informed him. I don't know how you overcome that. Yeah. He never went to therapy. Back then, I don't think many black men back in 1994 in America were going to therapy. It was viewed as a sign of
Yeah.
So he wasn't dealing with it. He was living this life that was kind of rudderless, going left, going right, trying to be a warrior for black men and women in America, and at the same time having to deal with the trauma that was going kind of undiagnosed. Yeah. I wouldn't say he was happy to die. I don't think he had a death wish. I think he always believed he would die young.
Yeah, because in all of his music, it's like die, 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 die. I wish I was die, 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 die. Like that's the theme of his song. You know what I mean? Like that's why I'm like, man, he seems like he knew that something was gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And speaking of trauma, we're not doctors. It seems like his mom had some kind of mental health issue, and maybe all of his family. Do you think that kind of weighed a lot on him?
I just don't know. I don't know if he had mental illness. A lot of people looking back thought he was at least ADHD. Mm-hmm. Like he could go for 2 seconds and focus.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know. It's kind of like I wrote a book about Walter Payton, the great Chicago Bear, and I always assumed he had CTE, but they didn't test for it when he died. They weren't at that point doing testing of the brain.
Right. So
I'm always even reluctant to say, wow, he had CTE, because I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I just honestly don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't like lying or BSing.
No, we appreciate the honesty. We really do. So, yeah. Okay. after writing this book, I mean, I'm sure you had an opinion about Tupac before you wrote this book. You know, after writing the book, after doing all of this research, did your opinion on Tupac change at all?
Definitely. It's funny, I had a bunch of people who read the book, you know, as I was working on it. And their take was the same as mine, which is just profound sadness that I didn't find much joy in his life. There were moments of joy, and there were highs and making music and stuff like that. But mainly it was a struggle. And I feel like I walk away from this feeling really profoundly bad for him. Like, he never got to enjoy the benefits of hard work. He never got to live the life that he deserved to live. You know, like, there was one guy, I went to Marin City where he spent part of his youth, and I met some of the old crack dealers. And one of them was a guy named Brian Tynes. And we spent a lot of time together. And he told me a story. He was in the video for I Get Around, this guy Brian was. And he went down to LA where they filmed it. And Tupac showed him his Thug Life tattoo across his stomach. And Tupac's like, what do you think of my tattoo? And Brian's like, it's okay. And Tupac's like, you don't like it, man? You don't like it? He's like, no, it's a good. And Brian told me later, he said to me this, he goes, as long as I was dealing crack, I was a target. And as soon as I stopped dealing crack, as soon as I got out of the business, I no longer had the weight of being a target. He went and saw Tupac, and when he saw the Thug Life tattoo, he's like, you're making yourself a target. Like, you're actually making yourself a target. It's like, that is dumb. And to Brian Tynes, like, Tupac should have made his money, join a golf club, live in Beverly Hills, drive a nice car, have security in your life. Like, what are you working for if you're not working for security and some peace of mind? And I always think of that, like Brian being like, why did you get that tattoo? Why make yourself a target? Why keep screaming Thug Life? Like, just be a performer, be an actor, enjoy your life. Don't do this to yourself. And I do think there's some real sadness in Tupac's story, and that he should be 54s right now. Yeah. He should be acting in a bunch of movies. He should have won an Academy Award by now. Right. He should be a senator or a congressman or whatever, a leader out here in LA screaming about ICE agents grabbing brown people off the streets. Like, Tupac should be doing something like that. And instead, he's dead. He's gone. So I just find the whole thing really depressing. Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, to me, Tupac had experienced so much trauma as a child, someone who has like PTSD, maybe, we don't know, of course, but, they have a hard time seeing a way out of that lifestyle, and I think that's probably why he continued to make himself a target, or whatever, because I don't know that he saw any other way. Like, it was chaos from, like Ronnie said, from the day that he was conceived, it's been chaos. Yeah. I also think, like, people who say, like, oh, why didn't you just blank? Or you should have just blank, including myself sometimes. Like, again, he didn't know any other way. Yeah. Like, he just didn't know any other way. Yeah, you could see, like, he had a manager, Watani, who was married with 2 kids, and sometimes you go to Watani's house, and he used to call them the Cosby family, because they'd be sitting around watching a movie, eating popcorn, and that was very appealing to Tupac in a lot of ways. But, like, he just didn't, at least at that point, have it in him, and have the full grasping of different ways to live. He was who he was,
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Wow, okay. So is there anything in the book you regret putting in?
No.
Is there anything you left out you wish you had putting in the book?
I mean, I go through the interviews and I think, I could have done that. I could have used that. Thing is, it's hard. You interview that many people and they have all these things you go through. And I guess there are little things. I don't know. I thought of something the other day and now I don't even remember. But definitely there are things I'll tell you something I regret is he had a friend who lived with in Marin City, August Terry. And I think 2 points in the book, I call him Terry August by mistake. Okay. I'm really annoyed at myself with that. So stuff like that drives you crazy. I've never read a perfect book. Never in my life have I read a book with no errors. Like, I don't know how to do it. It's just too big, too vast. You try your best, but it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, I'm telling you right now, this book right here, it's as good as it gets. I love it.
Yeah. We really, really, truly enjoyed reading the book.
I work my ass off. of things.
Yeah, no, it's great.